Here are a few of my thoughts on the latest royal row to consume the nation. The King is clearly not a racist, nor is his daughter-in-law, Kate, the Princess of Wales. The baseless allegations that started when Harry and Meghan spewed their shock horror story to the Queen of tawdry TV, Oprah Winfrey, are absurd. If Charles and Kate speculated about the potential colour of the then unborn baby Archie, that was harmless curiosity, not racism. If they were indeed concerned that the kid's skin might be too dark, that is racist. But were they concerned? Either way, the gruesome twosome soon retreated from the incendiary fallout, with Harry laughably blaming the British press, and by and large the royal race row was forgotten, mostly because no one took it remotely seriously, and partly because no names were mentioned. And then, the best part of 3 years later, along came Meghan's mate Omid Scobie with his nasty little book Endgame, in which the only two palace people not to be dismissed as privileged pantomime villains are, drumroll, Harry and Meghan. Who'd have thought it? Just fancy that. And then somehow the names of the alleged racists got into the Dutch translation, and all hell broke loose. Scobie, who insists he is not the gruesome twosome's mouthpiece, continues to maintain he does not know how the offending paragraph turned up in Holland. This horrendous howler was, apparently, nothing to do with him, Gov. Of course it wasn't. So now what? Here's my message to the King, for the sake of Kate, for the sake of you, and for the sake of millions of fed-up Brits furious over the suggestion that our royal family is racist. How about you break the habit of a lifetime and actually do something? A statement, legal proceedings, a public display of dismay, anything to show that our king is not a hapless punchbag to be kicked around by a two-bit author whose last offering was the fabulously feeble Finding Freedom, a schmaltzy account of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's escape from British hell to the sunny shores of California. We know that William believes that Scobie has gone too far, and the fuming prince wants action. He is, we're told, not prepared for his wife to be labelled a racist without some sort of robust response, which, of course, could be rendered unnecessary if only Harry and Meghan themselves would say something. The King, however, I believe, in these exceptional circumstances, must act like a strong sovereign and stand up for his loved ones and the monarchy itself. Buckingham Palace is obviously not full of racists, and Charles should emphatically say so. Then call in the lawyers to remind Mr. Scobie and any other chancellors who think they can write what they like that the British royal family simply will not stand for this sort of damaging tittle-tattle. It's time for His Majesty to draw the line. Enough is enough. Do you think so, Danielle?
Well, what does the Queen say? Don't comment, don't criticise, don't
say anything.
Don't complain, don't...
Never doesn't say a whole lot.
No, she's just very quiet now, very quiet.
What did the Queen say? I think that's
Exactly, what did the Queen... Yeah, no, I do agree with it.
Never explain, never complain.
No, and I do think that that's been something they've always done, and I think it works for them because it didn't get them dragged into it in the first place, and I don't think that they should get dragged into it again.
Well, the thing I think, I mean, I agree. Generally, that works for the royal family.
Yeah.
But, you know, times change. And what they're doing here is they're sticking to a system which went out of date a long time ago. You've got Prince William is furious. The King's clearly upset. Millions of British people don't like to see this. They don't like to see Charles and the gang.
But doesn't this all come from Meghan being like that?
Well, that's not the point. The point is what are our royal family going to do? I think it's time for them to draw the line and to just break the habit of a lifetime and just damn well do something.
I think they need to sue Omid Scobie for this.
Done,
absolutely,
yeah.
100%. Yeah. There is a fear that if they sue Scobie for this, they'll definitely win. No problem of that. But the next time something happens, they've then got to sue every time. Yeah. Otherwise, people will say, well, it must be true if they didn't sue. That is an issue.
I see what you mean, but don't forget, it's not unprecedented. William and Kate sued for those pictures,
the French
invading their privacy in France, and they
Yes.
won that case. So the idea of the royal family never sue—that's not true.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, over in Montecito, of course, Harry and Meghan sue about every 3 seconds.
I also think I don't think it's fair for us to say that Meghan and Harry should be speaking up. I have said previously that I think it would help if they said we're not friends with Scobie, we didn't help this book. But if you think back to when Meghan was part of the royals actively, and the British press were said to be attacking her, and 80 of our MPs wrote an open letter to the British press saying you are being sexist, misogynistic, and whatever about Meghan, the royal family, people were pleading with the royal family to put out themselves saying, ease off her. They didn't. So here we've got a tit for tat thing of the royals didn't defend her when she needed help. So now why should she have to help them?
I mean, I feel sorry for the royal family at the centre of this. It's not their fault. This is a book, as Piers Morgan said. For one thing, it says that Piers regularly talks to Camilla.
Yeah.
Piers went on to TalkTV and said, let me tell you, I've never had a phone call with Camilla in my life. So right there off the bat is a lie. And other critics say that this book is full of nonsense. Actually, JJ, I think it's mainly full of rehashed stuff that we already knew.
Scobie's making a fortune by rebranding some of the news we already knew. As you say, Harry and Meghan said it wasn't racist. They blamed the press for saying it was racist. They hinted that it was a racist comment, but then they've said it wasn't racist. Scobie's now made it sound like, oh no, there's definitely a racist. And not just one, there's two. Harry had said one person made the comment. Now Scobie says, no, it's two people.
And I feel really sorry for Kate because she's absolutely kept her cool this whole time.
When you say, Daniel, this is what they've always done and they just ride above it, what I'm saying is times change. What kind of organisations just said, we've been doing this for 5,000 years, so we'll continue.
But can't you see that's what...
That's coming up next.
That's what happened with Meghan, though, in the first place, is that she got so upset about what the British press was saying and they were picking on her. They picked on Kate the same when she first came along. There were all the pictures of her on the fashion show.
And she was called Weighty Katie. She was not royal enough, too common to be in the royal family.
And then it was, she doesn't like Meghan. There was all those rumours about how Kate doesn't like Meghan.
Which I think is probably true. I don't think that's a rumour.
But she's always kept quiet about it, and I think that there's a lot of respect there.
But you don't need to dignify every allegation with kind of detailed responses.
If this had come out 3 years ago when the initial accusation was made, if this book was out then, it would have made a huge impact. But currently, I think the British public are currently siding with the royal family, and we think Omid Scobie's an idiot.
So does he need to say anything if we all think that?
He does. The thing about the king is if he's not droning on about green claptrap, he doesn't dare say boo to a goose. He doesn't dare put his head... Be the king. Show me the backbone. Come on.
He's showing backbone.
That's what the people of Britain
He's showing
want.
his backbone by ignoring peasants like you. Trying to tell him how to do his job.
He's always ignored peasants like me, and I've had enough of it. We've got time for a bad ad now.
Does your husband look at you the way he used to? It's a question I'm not afraid to ask, because I've discovered oil of Olay, the beauty fluid that's similar to your skin's own natural fluids. Each drop penetrates quickly without being greasy, easing dryness to help soften the signs of age.
You look terrific. Discover the mystery of oil of Olay. It can help you look younger, too.
It's the first thing that happens when you move to America. You go, what's oil of Olay? What we call oil of Ulay.
I thought exactly the same.
Or oil of underlay, as I call it. That's a sort of TV joke. But seriously, I think if she's worried that her husband's not kind of looking at her anymore, she should do something about that hair.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That was a pretty bad hair.
That was a crime. She was wearing her head there.
Like a sort of pavlova on her head or something.
Also, I find the language odd when they say this cream is the same fluid that your body produces. That sounds gross.
It does, doesn't it?
Where are you putting that cream? It's disgusting.
I don't want to talk about
bodily fluids. It's not something you want to be putting on your face.
I don't want to talk about the fluids that my body produces. And I certainly don't want to reapply them. Disgusting. Oil of
There's something else
Olay.
that's very good for your skin, Kev, apparently. It's in Wales stuff.
It's oil of Olay or Ulay. Is it American or European? I think it's European.
I think it's European. Yeah.
So they've got something else over there called Ulay, so they've changed the name.
Yeah, that's right.
Also, of course, it's now time to go through my bulging postbag of fan mail. I always get a lot of fan mail, particularly on social media. I don't know what's happening this week. Have you got some?
Oh, I've got loads, Kevin.
For me.
I've got 2 for you and 1 for me.
OK,
Right.
we'll take it away, JJ.
So here we go. Kevin and Alex are 2 comedy shock jocks. Don't know how anyone takes them bloody seriously.
Well, I don't mind that if you find us funny. Comedy, it's the spice of life. That's it. He's referring to Alex Phillips, I assume.
Yes.
On
yes.
Plus Talk, a show with Alex. What else you
Number
got?
2, Kevin O'Sullivan, yet again demonstrating what a complete, total nitwit he is. He has complete incapability to hold a rational debate with a more intelligent person. A curtain-wearing he is embarrassing. I think they're referring to your haircut.
Yeah,
Curtain-wearing
like draped in curtains. I'm saving up for a suit, but I bought it on Mum's curtains. Hope that's all right. Like.
I got one
more,
bad one about
one
me.
more.
This one's about me. TalkTV. I had to turn over to another channel. Who is that black guest with Kevin? He has such an irritating laugh that it makes watching the show unbearable. Well, Stan Franks 3. You.
Yeah, exactly.
How about that?
You are so happy it's unbearable.
Funnily enough, the only thing that I don't find irritating about you is your laugh, which luckily is cool because you spend your whole life laughing. You got one there,
I
Danielle?
have got some nasty ones about me, yeah.
You got
Andre,
them, did you? I mean that joke every week. Always works. Go on.
Andre, you are good, but Danielle is an irritation. She just keeps interrupting you and your viewers.
Well,
if you watch the show.
It's talking about Andre Walker.
Yes, she is a narcissist.
No, whoa.
Oh,
Rewind.
oh, sorry.
Andre, you were good.
Exactly.
Andre, you are good, exactly.
That's the first lie.
Only joking, Andre.
Who wrote that?
Go on, finish it.
She is a narcissist and her words are shallow. She's just making the show unwatchable.
I don't think you're a narcissist. Anyway, moving on.
Another one here. Apparently, I was asked to appear on TalkTV with Andre Walker and Danielle Nichols to celebrate Pride Month. I would rather poo in my hands and clap, to be honest.
Wow.
Go ahead and do it. Nobody knows who you are, so it doesn't really
Don't
matter.
really matter.
Does it?
And this one says, well, we had Danielle Nichols, but she is such an inept arguer. I even disagree with her arguments when I agree with her points.
I disagree. Time for a break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Oh, welcome back. Welcome back to the world's greatest ever TV show, What Just Happened. I'm Kevin O'Sullivan. He's JJ Anasiobi, and she's Danielle Nichols. And this is what I think about the BBC. So, your caring, sharing state broadcaster wants to charge you even more for its puny package of poor quality programmes. The BBC proudly presents Strictly Come Dancing, Sir David Attenborough, and the occasional drama that isn't a dismally dull woke dirge. That's about it. Currently, for this substandard service, they're charging us 159 quid a year. Now, they want to hike it to a wallet-draining £173.30 to cover inflation, apparently. And lest you forget, folks, if you don't cough up, you could be fined or even sent to prison. To his credit, Rishi Sunak is on a mission to reject Auntie Beeb's shameless money grab, which cynics insist is to underwrite the plethora of six-figure middle management salaries. But like most politicians, Sunak is scared of the BBC's alleged popularity that I see no evidence of whatsoever. What I do see is a sclerotic organisation clinging to a hideously outmoded public funding model while stumbling from one self-made crisis to the next. Let's face it, the BBC is a shambles falling apart at the seams. Scandal after scandal reminding us that it's hard to justify a compulsory annual tax on watching telly. Soccer boat Gary Lineker negotiating a pay rise on his obscene £1.3 million salary while bombarding us with his liberal elite political worldview on social media. When the BBC Director General Tim Davie took issue with the former footballer comparing Sunak's government to 1930s Nazi Germany, a tense standoff was swiftly followed by a settlement essentially allowing Lineker to tweet what he likes when he likes. Then, all of a sudden, the Beeb's top news anchor, Hugh Edwards, was suspended pending an investigation into his alleged inappropriate behaviour towards younger members of staff, the results of which it looks as if we, the great British viewing public, will never get to see. Now it's being reported that the £435,000 a year presenter will never be back. Bye, Hugh. But one thing we can be certain of is that the right-on state broadcaster is in no way racist. Or can we? Shockwaves as Radio 5 host Nihal Nonentity, that's not his real name, I just can't pronounce it, announced his mental health is being battered by all the white people he has to work with. This is what he said. It's really affecting me that I have to walk in and all I see is white people. I don't think there's a single Muslim involved in the senior editorial processes. Two things worry me about Nihal's complaints here. One, imagine if a white BBC staffer moaned about all the people of colour they had to work with. Wouldn't that be racist? And two, while he might be right about the lack of Muslim executives, the BBC's news agenda is relentlessly pro-Palestine and anti-Israel. Accidentally, according to the Beeb bosses, who have twice been forced to apologise for erroneous reporting from Gaza. Why should we pay for this all-round incompetence? And finally, the cherry on the cake, it turns out that Doctor Who is gay. In his latest ludicrous adventure, the Time Lord took a break from fretting about pronouns to reveal that he was smitten with Sir Isaac Newton. Is that who I am now? Inquired the Doc. Who knows who the hell Doctor Who is these days? But the gravity of the situation cannot be overstated. See what I did there, JJ?
Yeah.
Isaac Newton, great.
Yeah.
Good, aren't I?
Yeah, it was decent.
That's why I get the small bucks. Basically that was the idea of that was they're going to put up or they're trying to put up the licence fee by 15 quid.
Yeah.
From 159 to 173.30. That's the biggest, if they get that through, that'll be the biggest rise in the licence fee for 40 years.
Yeah.
And when you look at that sort of compendium of incompetence that I've just presented, it's just not worth it, is it?
No, you're completely wrong, mate. It's completely worth it. In fact, I would say we should be paying £200 a year for that.
Why?
I spend 216 quid a year just on Netflix for their top tier package.
Yeah, but
I don't get
Netflix-
half as much stuff as I get
But
from the
Netflix
BBC.
is watchable.
I don't know, there's some bad stuff on there. We were talking about a show earlier.
Not
about
as bad as it
psychopaths.
is on the BBC.
Listen, let me read some BBC
Seen
shows to you.
Countryfile lately.
EastEnders, Strictly, Match of the Day and Match of the Day 2, Doctor Who, I don't care if he's gay, it's still a good show, Shetland, MasterChef, Kin, Planet Earth, Boat Story, Survivor, The Met, RuPaul's Drag Race, Nativity, Graham Norton Show, Judas Caesar, it goes on and on.
Apart from Graham Norton,
so
all shit.
old-fashioned.
All shit. Apart from
You're
Graham.
wrong.
That's just crap.
It's fantastic TV.
Graham Norton does a good show.
It's great. Yeah, he's a fantastic show and a great radio show on Virgin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he work here?
It does
Pay rise, please.
It does great stuff on TV. It does great stuff on radio. It does great stuff on iPlayer. It's still the most trusted news source in the world, BBC. Do you know that?
Well,
it is
yeah,
one of
keep
the
the
As far as I
news.
can through it.
You don't need to pay that much money. It's old-fashioned, it's outdated. You can get Netflix now for 70 quid a year if you have it with adverts.
I don't want
All of
adverts.
those
come
programmes you
on.
mentioned, JJ,
Yeah.
I mean, 15 years ago,
They're all
I
fantastic.
might have said, yeah, you got a point there, but they've all been going forever.
I know.
MasterChef first started in 1990.
Yeah.
It hasn't
It's
changed
out of
in
date.
35 years.
Why change something that's not broken?
Because
It hasn't
it's
changed.
boring.
It hasn't changed. I don't
Where's
find it
the
boring.
creativity?
I don't find it boring.
But we're not saying that
You should
necessarily.
find it boring.
No.
But now they want you to pay more money for it.
And I'm
more
happy
than they've
to.
ever
I'm happy to pay more money for it.
Well, you
Cost of living's gone up.
You can
Cost of
fucking
living,
pay my
exactly.
licence fee then.
Cost of living's gone up.
Exactly.
They've got to pay their staff a fair wage. They've got to rise the money's got to come from somewhere. So rise the
What,
fee.
you mean
No,
like Gary
no,
Lineker
no.
getting more than 1.3?
No, I mean
he
like
is
the
fighting for a
cameraman.
pay rise.
I mean the cameraman.
You want him
and
to
the
get more
sandwiches
money.
How
and
does
the
he get
makeup and the
through
hair.
it?
How does he get? Listen.
Let me
Gary
tell you,
Lineker
mate. Let me
aside-
tell you, mate. The licence fee ain't gonna last. There's no way.
Well, we'll see
No.
about that. won't
It's an
we?
anachronism.
No.
60% of the UK still think that the BBC
Yeah,
is a fantastic
that.
job.
That's
Fantastic
No.
job.
That's
The problem is
nonsense.
that you people, you're so loud in your egregious hostility towards BBC that you shout louder than anyone else. But the reality is,
Hey,
most of us-
Danielle,
most of us
Danielle,
I
don't
work
care.
for the BBC. I've done some stuff for Morning
Right.
Live. I do some stuff on
Well, you'll
BBC
never work
Radio
there again with this
Manchester.
attitude.
No, it's not that. I'm
Screwed
okay.
now.
I'm not necessarily. I just think it's so outdated for
Agree-
how we are
totally
today.
agree.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the BBC. I'm just saying
How old are your kids,
outdated,
Danielle?
overpriced.
How old are your kids?
My eldest is 17 and my youngest is 5.
I bet they don't watch the BBC.
None of them, except
Exactly.
Match of the
This
Day.
is the
maybe.
problem,
Match
to be
of the
serious,
Day.
JJ. That kids, when I say kids, I'm talking about all
Well, there's no
people
kids
to the
programme
age of
now.
about 20. They barely know what the BBC is.
Ridiculous.
They don't care anymore.
Because we've got such a plethora of other options, understandably.
But why have they got
there's-
rid of the kids
Because they
programming
think,
when it should be on?
why can't they attract a
fair.
young audience? I'll tell you why. Because all they're putting on is that 50-year-old shit you're talking about.
Well, it
It's been
works.
Well,
It
it
works.
doesn't
It does work, because
What does
the 50
EastEnders
plus-
get? What do EastEnders get
Dunno,
these days?
half
You know, when
a-
I was a TV critic, it was
400,000.
getting 30 million. It's getting 2
Yeah,
now.
but there's so many other options at the same time to watch other things.
Yeah, but it's
that's not
'cause it's
BBC's fault.
crap.
So what are you going to do with the BBC? You shut it all down completely.
No, it pays for itself. It makes programs that people want to watch. It either charges a subscription or advertising. Like other broadcasters, it pays for itself, and that would make the BBC a lot better because it then would have the imperative of competition. It's finished, mate. Now it's time for a bad ad.
That's no way to treat a lady. For years, we've thought nylon panties with a cotton lining were a solution. Well, they're not. Nylon traps moisture and cotton stays damp, so when you put them together, that's no answer. Now there's you. You, the revolutionary new panty that lets moisture evaporate. You panties are made with Lita, a silky new fabric that breathes like your skin, so you stay cool and comfortable. You just started a revolution.
I don't know what to say.
What? What is it? What fabric are they made
Was it
of?
nylon and something else?
Nylon.
Nylon and cotton don't work, but this is made of a special, magical fabric?
Yeah.
What
Keep
exactly?
it dry and airy down there.
Ooh.
Who picks these adverts?
I don't know, but
There's something
I don't know
irky
what
about
to
it.
say about this one.
Yeah.
It's going to lead us into very dodgy areas.
Talking about women's panties.
So I'm just going to say that both products look to me to be very, very useful, depending on what sort of person you are. What were they called again?
You panties.
You.
Panties. Yeah.
As in,
They're for
you panties.
They're a bit panties, though, aren't they?
Gross.
Do you reckon people who work at the BBC wear them?
Probably.
No.
It's all they can afford.
They wear non-binary underwear.
They probably do. Doctor Who is gay. Fancy Sir Isaac Newton. That for me, that was it. That's when the BBC crossed the line. We've all crossed the line now. Great to have you on board, as always, JJ Anasiobi and the brilliant Danielle Nichols, who you can catch on Saturday on the Saturday Night Phone-In right here on TalkTV. And JJ is on The Talk most nights, and one night he has to put up with me. I'll let you know when that is. Until next week, though, we have been What Just Happened. I have been Kevin O'Sullivan. We'll be back, same time, same place, next week. What just happened?